Good morning. This is Dawn Fatout, and we are at Robey Elementary this morning getting ready to build our Aqua Terra systems. We've been talking about ecosystems, and this project is going to give us the opportunity to find out how habitats work, how animals live together, and we are ready for Mr. Crosslin.
Wow, thanks for that great introduction. You know, this is my favorite project, mostly because I love science, I love kids, and I really love fish. And one of my favorite fish in the world is the betta splendens. So there's a couple of things before we get started. I want to give you a little background information. We're going to make an Aqua Terra living system. Now, when I say a living system, this is really a model. And scientists use models a lot. So you see, a model can't be exactly like the real thing, but it can teach us a lot. So this model will have limitations, but it's your responsibility to take care of these living creatures. We're going to end up with some vertebrates, animals with backbones, and some invertebrates, animals without backbones. And so before we get started, I want to give you a little background on what we're going to do. You see, we're going to make a habitat. And this habitat is really important because we're going to have plants in it, and we're going to have animals. And the thing about plants and animals is they're like balanced. And this is the part I love about this. You see, a plant needs the sun, right? And it needs CO2, and it needs water, and it needs chlorophyll. What do plants give off? Anybody? Yes. When they have all this, a plant will give off oxygen and sugar. We call that sugar, but you know, this is what plants do. And they're called producers. From sunlight, they give off oxygen and sugar. But what do they need? They need CO2. Isn't it just like a miracle or amazing that animals, what do we need? We need oxygen, right? We also need sugar or food, and this is photosynthesis, right? And this is cellular respiration. Here's what we give off. After we take in oxygen and after we take in sugar, we give off CO2 and water. Now, isn't that kind of cool that those are balanced? Plants need CO2 and give off oxygen. We need oxygen and give off CO2. So this is a balance of nature, and we're going to try to make that model. Okay, so some of the animals that we're going to have is a fish. Now, a fish is a type of creature that has a backbone. We call that a vertebrate animal, I got a volunteer here. You are actually a vertebrate. Now, we're not going to put you inside of the Aqua Terra, that's okay. But if you turn around, this young lady has a backbone. It goes from her head all the way down her back. This is her spine or her vertebrae. You, and put your hands up like this, one at the fist. Okay, so this is your spine, and there are 5 vertebrate groups. There are mammals, like you and I. There are amphibians, ribbit. That's what's an amphibian? A ribbit. I'm giving you a clue. Ribbit. Frogs. Here's another clue. Birds. I thought for a second she was going to say something else. Birds, mammals, amphibians, birds, snakes and reptiles, and finally my favorite, do like this with me, ready? You don't want to do that? What's the last group? Fish. Fish. So all 5 of these make a fist. If this is the brain of an animal, this is the backbone and the skull, all 5 of these, mammals, amphibians, reptiles, fish, and birds are part of the vertebrate group. So we have here, the vertebrate group we're going to have are these betta splendens, Siamese fighting fish, because the country now is called Thailand, but at one time it used to be called Siam. And so this is an inherited traits of color and finnage called the betta splendens, and you're going to learn all about that. Another group of animals we have is invertebrates. Now, you and I are not invertebrates, but these are invertebrates. You'll see shrimp and snails in here. I guess the last thing, this is kind of, let's say you got up and you stepped on me. I have a backbone. What kind of noise would I make if you stepped on me? Oh, yeah, I would. I would go mush, crunch. Why would I go mush, crunch if you stepped on me? What would be mushed? My body. What would be crunched? My bones. Now, I'm not saying jump on me, okay? But if you step on a vertebrate, it's going to be mush, crunch. What would happen if we stepped on a snail or a shrimp? They would die. Let's not do that. But what sound would they make?
Oh.
Yes. They would make crunch, mush. So vertebrates would be mush, crunch. Everybody say mush, crunch.
Mush, crunch.
And invertebrates are crunch, mush.
Crunch, mush.
Now, if you step on a jellyfish, it's a mush, mush. So I don't advocate stepping on anything. Thank you. Have a seat. Let's give a round of applause. So a vertebrate animal has a backbone that keeps their spine, and an invertebrate is an animal that has often a shell like the snail you're going to get, which is called a gastropod, and I love that. Gastra means stomach, pod means foot. This guy moves on his stomach. And finally, you're going to get something that's kind of like this, and you want to draw this. It's got, and this is also a invertebrate, and this little guy is a shrimp. And so all of these are invertebrates and vertebrates, but we're also going to get some plants, all right? Let's take a close look at some of these. Okay, so take a look here. So here's some of our vertebrate animals, and I want to pass these out to everybody. Be careful with them. Go ahead and take one, and you can take a look, start studying these. Maybe that's the one you're going to pick. I don't know. Go ahead. And these have come a long way, halfway around the world. Anybody else want to take a look at one? Here you go. Start passing these out. So these are vertebrates. Anybody? Here you go. A vertebrate animal, pass these on down, has a backbone. But these guys here, check this out. Here is a couple snails. Look at these snails right here. These are invertebrates. Now, this one, when you pick them up, they often will close up, but this animal cannot come out of its shell. It's built into it. And this one, eventually, when you get them in your living system, you'll be able to see them crawl around. Now, there's also in here, I don't know if you can see this, but I also have some shrimp. Lots of little shrimp in here. And these guys are down at the bottom. These guys, here's a little invertebrate. Check this out. This is a cherry shrimp. And the cherry shrimp is an invertebrate, and he's not liking being out of the water too much, so we'll get him put back and get him in our Aqua Terra. And so these are some of the critters that you guys are going to use in your living model. Vertebrates, invertebrates, and plants, lots of plants. Okay, so the betta splemens, I learned a lot about those through magazines and the internet, and this is an article by all about bettas, and I expect you guys to learn a lot more about these. And they came from Thailand. Here's a picture of where Thailand is, and here is a family-owned business that raises these and does the water change and the food every day. And so what we need to do is make sure that we match their living conditions. So when we set this up, we don't want the temperature to go below 70 or above 80. So when you put these in the window, if there's a cold draft, so you want to keep track of, don't let them get too hot or too cold. You see, this model is a small model. Now, if I took a cup of boiling water and I dumped it in Lake Michigan, would that affect the lake and the animals in it? No. Probably not, right? But if I took a cup of hot water and put it in this small Aqua Terra column, would that affect the animals?
Yes.
Yeah. So this model is a small model, which makes it somewhat harder to do than a bigger model. All right, one more thing. Let's get the directions on how to build this. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take used 2-liter bottles, and the first one is going to be cut like this, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. This is going to be the Aqua, and this one's going to be the Terra. Now, can anybody think of a word with aqua in it? For example, aquarium, aqua. What is the Spanish word for water? Agua. So this is going to be the one with water in it. Got that? This is the Terra, T. Anybody think of a word with Terra in it? Like the Louisiana Territory? Terre Haute, which means high land. Yes. Terrain, which means land. So terra means land. So here's what we're going to do. First, you're going to end up with one lid also. So go ahead and draw this. There's your lid. And you're going to end up with two of these. You're going to put two holes in each of them to hook them together. Okay? So that's something you're going to do. Number one, we're going to cut them and put holes. Okay? Number two, since this is the aqua, we're going to put in this one aquarium gravel. I have two types of gravel. We're going to put aquarium gravel. Why do I use aquarium gravel? Because it's been cleaned. We could use the other gravel, but it would make everything dark and muddy and we'd have to wait, okay? So make sure aquarium gravel goes in the aqua, right? Number two, the water. When you go to get water in these, right now the water we use here at our school has chemicals in it to keep us safe. Chlorine, chloramines, they dissolve mucous membranes. See, water has to be filtered three ways. One, particulates. You don't want to be drinking water and a stick comes out of the faucet, right? Or a piece of trash. So they filter the water for particulates. You don't want to drink water and there's chemicals in it. So we make sure water is filtered with carbon. The water company does that. And finally, you don't want to drink water with things living in it. Small little bugs and creatures. So, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to get sick with something like that. So the water company puts chemicals in the water to kill organisms. And usually it's chlorine or chloramine. Those two chemicals dissolve mucous membranes. Now we have mucous membranes inside our mouth, inside of our nose, our eyeballs. You ever been swimming in a pool with chlorine and what happens?
Your eyes sting.
Your eyes sting. The chlorine is trying to dissolve the mucous membrane. So we put that in our water so when we drink it, it's safe for us. That's not good for these fish or plants. So I'm going to give you some water conditioner. Water conditioner, what it does, and that's going to be one drop. Someone will be in charge of putting that in. One drop gets put in the water and that neutralizes the chemicals. And we want to make sure the water is between like a 70 degrees, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to cut holes. We're going to put the water in. Number three, over here, I'm going to drill a hole in the Terra. Okay? Number four, you're going to take a wick, tie a knot in it. It's going to go right here and hang down. Got that? Next, you're going to put some gravel here. This is going to be some rough gravel. Rough gravel, because this is supposed to represent the earth. And if you go down below the soil, you find gravels and bedrock. So this is going to be some rough gravel, not the aquarium gravel, and then we're going to put soil, potting soil in here, and then you're going to put some seeds. So, and hopefully what happens is the plants grow up. What goes down? The roots go down. This goes on top of that. Our fish are in here, having a nice ecosystem. That's a fish. You can tell by the bubbles coming up. Our snails are in here, and our plants are in here. Okay, so we're going to use two 2-liter bottles. Now this is a regular kind of bottle with a head, a shoulder, and a body that's straight. And then this is another brand that is more of the classic Coca-Cola that has this nice shape. Now, I like this one better because I can see more of it, but either one of these will work. Let me show you how we're going to cut these. First of all, you need to take the top off, and we want to cut not below the shoulder, not so much above the shoulder, but right about at the shoulder. And so I'm going to squeeze this and find a place. I'm going to use my lever. This is a lever, oh, we learned that a couple years ago. Anyway, my simple machine. And this is the effort. I want to put the effort close to the fulcrum. This is hard to do, but if I put the effort close to the fulcrum, I give it a little bit of a cut, right there like that. And you should see there's a small little cut. Now we have a problem. How do I get the air back in this to cut this? Well, the best way is don't put your mouth on it, put your hand on it. Sometimes I have to squeeze this and give it a very strong pop. Didn't mean to frighten you, sorry about that. Now this is the part that most kids don't get. Since this is a lever for a right-handed person, most people will stick their scissor in here like this and start cutting along the top. If you do that, it'll work, it'll be jagged. But it's better if you take the top of your scissors, put in here, and cut along the bottom. And if you do that, since you're right-handed, you'll get a nice smooth top, okay? You're gonna end up doing this to 2 of them. It's okay if it's not exactly right. We're gonna end up fixing them like this, and that's how you prepare both bottles. Go ahead and get started.
Oh, what's up? Because you guys took all 3 of them. Oh, yeah. Mine is a cut. Who's gonna cut? I'm gonna cut. Oh,
You already have your initial cut. You just need to get them.
Scissors in there. The bottom part. The bottom. There you go.
Okay, so the next step is to put a hole in the bottom for the Terra. And so here's my first Terra. This is where the wick goes, so I'm going to use my drill and put this right to the bottom like this. And what this does is allows the wick to hang down. So I drilled a hole. It's ready for the next one. There you go. Let me see yours. Don't drill the aqua. Why is it a bad idea to drill the aqua? Anybody?
The water will come out.
The water will come out. Let's do, you guys line up. I'll drill these while you guys are getting ready. Here you go. Watch out. And let's check it out. Okay, so we've got the hole drilled in the Terra. Nice job. This is going to be the wick that hangs down. And so go ahead and put at least 1 or 2 knots in there. And I'm not going to do all this, but you know why? Because I got big kind of dad hands, and you will have small fingers. This is going to be easier for you to do than me to do. I can tie a knot in there. Yes, yes. Everybody say yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
You got the knot in here. Now your job is to find a way to get that in there through that hole. Go ahead, get started. This ought to be good. She's got good hands. You can get it in there. Watch out, it'll bite you. No, it won't. There's nothing in there yet. Not that hole, I'm sorry. This hole, you're killing me. There we go. Oh, look how good she is at that. You put it through. Oh, look at that. Ding, 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 ding. And if you do it right, there is your Terra with the wick. Okay, so we've got the hole drilled in the Terra. Nice job. This is going to be the wick that hangs down. And so go ahead and put at least 1 or 2 knots in there. And I'm not going to do all this, but you know why? Because I got big kind of dad hands, and you will have small fingers. This is going to be easier for you to do than me to do. I can tie a knot in there. Yes, yes. Everybody say yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
You got the knot in here. Now your job is to find a way to get that in there through that hole. Go ahead, get started. This ought to be good. She's got good hands. You can get it in there. Watch out, it'll bite you. No, it won't. There's nothing in there yet. Not that hole, I'm sorry. This hole, you're killing me. There we go. Oh, look how good she is at that. You put it through. Oh, look at that. Ding, 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 ding. And if you do it right, there is your Terra with the wick. Good job. Give me 5 on that one. Nice job. Okay, so this is the next step. We're putting the aquarium gravel into the aqua, a couple cups. And then we're going to stop right here and we're going to put some water conditioner in. And then you head on to the water fountain and put some water. Remember, not too hot, not too cold. How are you going to put it? Just right. Hey, there you go. Line up for your aquarium, gravel, and your conditioner. So at this station, we're putting water conditioner in. Now, why are we doing this?
To make the fish, to make all the chemicals get out so the fish can stay safe and all.
So it neutralizes the chemicals. Good job. Let's move it. We got fish to get in.
I'm adding my water. I gotta make sure it's not too hot, not too cold.
Okay, so now it's time to put our fish in the Aqua Terra. If some of you guys are ready, so go ahead and cut that out of cut the top of the bag. Don't spill it. Pour that, that's good enough. Pour that water into the Terra because all the nutrients and all the waste from that fish can go right in your Terra. That'll be good nutrients for the plant. Go ahead. And then, how's your water? It's been setting, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, is that right? Go ahead and put the fish. He does. Very cool. Check him out. There he is. Ready to go. Good job.
Okay, which one should I get?
Hello, little fishy.
Where'd you get these fish?
They came in from Thailand. They're native of Thailand. Very cool. Has anybody named their fish yet?
Yes.
What's your fish's name?
Midnight.
What?
Midnight.
Midnight, all right.
This guy is so cool. Why do they have blue eyes?
I don't know. Why do you think? Okay, so now it's time to put our plants, and we have two types of plants we're going to put in our aqua system. We have some higher order plants, which means they're a lot larger, and we also have some Java moss, which we're going to put in there. This provides habitat for your plants. So let's get our plants ready. Once you get your plants, go ahead and put them in your aqua. There's your Java moss, yeah. And then there's your other anacris. Now place it like this. See how it grows like that?
Oh.
Okay, go ahead and put yours in. Nice. Very nice. This provides habitat. Good job, guys. So now we're going to get our shrimp and our snails. You'll need to bring your aquarium. That way. Okay, here is, look at this beauty right here. This is, you got a couple snails and a large plant, and let me give you a shrimp. There you go. Who's next?
Well, that's your aquarium.
Okay. I'm going to use a little net right here and get, oh, this shrimp, when you check this out, this shrimp has green eggs on the bottom. That's a mom with a bunch of babies. Very cool.
Snails should be Gary.
The snail should be here. Let me give you a snail. Here you go. So we're catching shrimp and snails, which are invertebrates, and we're adding these to our Aqua Terra. Okay, so the next step is we have to get our Terra formed. So you see here in my Terra, I have the wick. I'm going to put a little bit of gravel. This acts like bedrock.
Are you listening?
And then we're going to put some soil. So we're making a model of the earth. So I have the soil and the bedrock. And then we're going to plant some seeds. And I have cilantro, I have onions, I have garlic, I have cucumbers. Let's plant something interesting. Okay, so we have our Terra almost ready. And what I want to do is put just a little water in this. So I'm going to put some water in here just to get it going. And I've planted my seeds already in it. And if you put the water in this, you'll notice that water is starting to do what out the bottom?
Come out.
Drip out the bottom, and that's exactly what I want. So let that go for a second. Now it's time for our fish. So let me see your fish, and let's get our fish added to our system. Okay, so I have our fish right here. Oh, this is a beauty. And what we're going to do, this fish has been in this bag for a couple of days with oxygen. So I'm going to cut this out. And I'll tell you, the problem with this is that this is not good water to put in our aquarium system. Let me see another pair of scissors, please. Thank you. And so I don't want to put this water into my aquarium, but you know where this water would be perfect? As food for these seeds and plants. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold this carefully, pour the water, the old water that's filled with wastes and materials, into that. It'll be good fertilizer. And then this guy is ready. I'll let you do it. This is yours. Carefully add him to the, there he is, in his new habitat, ready to go. And so all we got to do is finish putting these together. This goes here. And we have the start of our closed system with our Aqua Terra living system. Water goes up, roots go down, plant goes up. We have photosynthesis. It pulls nutrients out of the bottom, and we have the start of a living system. Hey, I can't wait to see how these turn out. So we finished up, and we got all the Aqua Terra living systems finished, and I see some really cool systems. How many people love fish?
Me.
What I love
snails.
You love snails?
I love everything.
You love everything? You love shrimp? Well, you know, I love science. Good job, guys. So I want you to spend the next couple weeks learning about this model of the Aqua Terra living system. Let me get a close-up on this very strange creature. Very nice. No, I meant the fish.
Red and blue.
Okay, this video would not be possible without my highly trained videographer.
My name is Brianna. I was forced to do this video.